The Medici family, for generations, commanded Florence with a velvet glove and an iron fist. Their power was built not just on banks and cunning deals, but on something far more dazzling: marriage. Each wedding was a spectacle, a statement, and a carefully calculated move on Europe's grand chessboard. The dowry was not just a bride's personal wealth, it was a weapon, a shield, and a shimmering promise of loyalty. These women, adorned with silks and jewels, carried the weight of nations on their shoulders, their dowries paving pathways to thrones and cementing alliances that reshaped the map of power. The price of an empire, it turned out, could be paid in gold, precious stones, and the fate of a daughter. Number 10, Margherita Luisa d'Orleans and Cosimo III de' Medici. The year was 1661, and Florence was buzzing with the news of an impending marriage that would link the Grand Ducal House of Tuscany directly to the heart of the French monarchy. Cosimo III de' Medici, the heir apparent to the Grand Duchy, was to marry Margherita Luisa d'Orleans, a princess of the French royal family. This was not just a marriage, it was a colossal diplomatic coup for the Medici, granting them immense prestige and a direct line to the most powerful court in Europe, that of King Louis XIV, the Sun King himself. The negotiations for this union were long and fraught, reflecting the high stakes involved for both families. The Medici sought the undeniable cachet of a French princess, while the French crown saw an opportunity to extend its influence into the rich Italian peninsula. Margherita Luisa was the daughter of Gaston, Duke of Orleans, who was King Louis XIII's younger brother. This made her a first cousin to Louis XIV, placing her firmly within the most elite circle of European royalty. Her lineage alone was a dowry in itself, promising social elevation for the Medici, who, despite their Grand Ducal title, were still relatively new to the ranks of sovereign royalty compared to houses like the Bourbons. The dowry settled upon Margherita Luisa was substantial, a testament to her high birth and the importance of the alliance. It included a cash sum of 800,000 livres, a princely sum in an era when a skilled artisan might earn a few hundred livres in a year. This amount of liquid capital was significant, capable of financing various state projects or alleviating debts. Beyond the cash, the dowry also encompassed a magnificent collection of jewels and personal effects befitting a French princess. These included intricate diamond necklaces, glittering pearl strands, and rubies set in exquisite gold designs, each piece a small fortune in itself. These weren't merely ornaments. They were tangible assets, symbols of the wealth and splendor of the French court that Margherita Luisa brought with her. Her trousseau, the collection of clothes, linens, and personal items a bride brought to her marriage, was equally lavish. It reportedly filled dozens of trunks, containing gowns made of the finest French silks and brocades, embroidered with silver and gold thread, and furs of sable and ermine. Each item was a masterpiece of French craftsmanship, showcasing the height of fashion and luxury that only the French court could command. The marriage contract also stipulated a rich jointure, a sum of money or property guaranteed to Margherita Luisa for her lifetime if she outlived Cosimo. This financial security was another critical element of the dowry negotiations, ensuring her status and independence. The alliance brought with it not just wealth, but also cultural exchange. Margherita Luisa arrived with a retinue of French courtiers, musicians, and artists, bringing French customs, fashions, and artistic sensibilities to the more conservative Florentine court. This influx of French culture undoubtedly influenced the Medici court, even if the personal relationship between Cosimo and Margherita Luisa proved to be notoriously tumultuous. The wedding itself was a grand affair, celebrated by proxy in France before Margherita Luisa embarked on her journey to Florence. Her arrival in Tuscany was marked by elaborate celebrations, fireworks, and public feasts, underscoring the importance of this new bond. The Florentine people, accustomed to Medici pageantry, were still dazzled by the sheer scale of the festivities. The political ramifications were immediate. The marriage solidified the Medici's standing among the royal houses of Europe, lending them an air of undeniable legitimacy and an invaluable connection to the French throne. This alliance offered a degree of protection and influence that pure wealth could not buy, positioning the Grand Duchy of Tuscany more securely within the complex web of European power politics. The dowry was not just a payment, it was the foundation of this new, vital relationship. Number 9. Anna de' Medici and Ferdinand Karl, Archduke of Further Austria. The year 1646 marked another significant union for the Medici family, one that aimed to secure their influence within the sprawling and prestigious Holy Roman Empire. Anna de' Medici, the daughter of Grand Duke Cosimo II, and Maria Maddalena of Austria, was destined for a marriage that would reinforce the Medici's Austrian connections, tying them closer to the powerful Habsburg dynasty. Her groom was Ferdinand Karl, Archduke of Further Austria, direct descendant of the Holy Roman Emperor Ferdinand II. This marriage was a strategic move to strengthen existing ties and secure future favors from one of Europe's leading imperial powers. The Medici had a history of marrying into the Habsburg family, and Anna's union was a continuation of this calculated strategy to enhance their standing and protect their Grand Duchy. Anna's dowry was meticulously assembled to reflect her status as a Grand Duchess of Tuscany, and the importance of the alliance she was forging. It represented a substantial financial contribution intended to bolster the Archduke's treasury and underscore the Medici's wealth. The cash portion of her dowry amounted to 100,000 scudi, a significant sum that demonstrated the Medici's continued financial prowess. This money was not merely a symbol, it was practical capital that could be used for the Archduke's military expenses, court maintenance, or even for infrastructure projects within his territories. Beyond the liquid assets, Anna's dowry also included a collection of exquisite jewels and works of art, carefully chosen to impress the Habsburg court. These pieces were more than adornments, they were portable wealth and expressions of Florentine artistic excellence. Your records show she brought a set of diamonds and pearls of considerable value, along with intricate gold ornaments and precious stones. These jewels would enhance the Archduchess's personal splendor and contribute to the opulence of the Habsburg court. The dowry also likely included fine Florentine textiles and tapestries, items for which Tuscany was renowned. These woven masterpieces depicting scenes from history or mythology would have added to the grandeur of the Archduke's palaces, serving as a constant reminder of the wealth and sophisticated taste of the Medici. The trousseau prepared for Anna was, as expected for a Grand Duchess, extensive and luxurious. It contained a vast array of gowns made from the finest silks and brocades, often richly embroidered with silver and gold threads, designed to ensure she was appropriately dressed for every occasion at the formal Habsburg court. Fine linens, furs, and elaborate accessories were also part of her personal effects, all contributing to the image of a wealthy and cultured bride. The journey from Florence to Innsbruck, the seat of the Archduke's court, was a grand procession, demonstrating the pomp and circumstance surrounding the marriage. Anna traveled with a large retinue of courtiers, ladies-in-waiting, and servants, signifying her elevated status. The wedding ceremony itself was a lavish affair, bringing together nobility from across the empire and Tuscany, further cementing the bond. The alliance secured through Anna's marriage was primarily political. It strengthened the Medici's ties with the Austrian branch of the Habsburgs, providing a valuable patron and protector within the complex political landscape of the Holy Roman Empire. This was particularly important given the ongoing geopolitical shifts in Europe during the mid-17th century. The marriage offered the Medici a measure of security against potential threats and provided channels for diplomatic influence within the imperial structure. While Anna's personal life in Innsbruck was not without its challenges, the alliance itself proved resilient. The dowry served as a tangible expression of the Medici's commitment to this imperial connection, solidifying their prestige and providing crucial support to their new Habsburg relatives. The dowry was not just a sum of money, it was a cornerstone of a critical diplomatic bond. Number 8. Vittoria della Rovere and Ferdinando II de' Medici. This union, celebrated in 1634, stands out because it was an incoming dowry for the Medici, yet it was so monumental it fundamentally reshaped the Grand Duchy of Tuscany and its cultural landscape. Vittoria della Rovere, the last surviving heir of the Duchy of Urbino, brought with her an unparalleled inheritance that firmly secured the Medici's future artistic and territorial claims. Ferdinando II de' Medici, the Grand Duke of Tuscany, was marrying a woman whose dowry was not just gold and jewels, but an entire princely state's legacy. The della Rovere family of Urbino, renowned patrons of art and culture, possessed one of the most magnificent private art collections in Italy, alongside significant territorial holdings. This marriage was a long-term strategic move to absorb these treasures into the Medici domain. The dowry for Vittoria della Rovere was not a simple cash transfer. It was a transfer of heritage, power, and incomparable artistic wealth. Upon the death of her grandfather, Francesco Maria II della Rovere, in 1631, the Duchy of Urbino was to revert to the Papal States, as per an agreement with Pope Urban VIII. However, the vast personal property and movable assets of the della Rovere family were to be transferred to Vittoria. This included the famed della Rovere art collection, which was considered one of the finest private collections in Europe at the time. This collection comprised masterpieces by Renaissance giants like Titian, Raphael, Piero della Francesca, and Federico Barocci. Paintings, sculptures, ancient artifacts, and precious objects that had adorned the ducal palaces of Urbino for centuries now became part of the Medici patrimony. The sheer value of these artworks was incalculable, far exceeding any cash sum. Beyond the art, Vittoria's dowry also included a significant amount of money and a trove of precious jewels. These represented the personal wealth accumulated by the della Rovere family. The jewels, passed down through generations, were elaborate creations featuring large diamonds, sapphires, emeralds, and rubies, set in intricate designs that showcased the wealth and taste of the ducal house. The cash portion, though secondary to the art, was still a substantial amount, adding to the Medici's liquid assets. The marriage contract also outlined the specific transfer of certain territories and properties that were considered personal assets of the della Rovere family, further expanding the Medici's territorial control and influence. The significance of this dowry cannot be overstated. It was not just about increasing the Medici's wealth, it was about elevating their cultural standing to an unprecedented level. The acquisition of the della Rovere collection instantly transformed the Medici collections, making them one of the richest and most important artistic patrimonies in Europe. Many of these masterpieces still form the core of the Uffizi Gallery and the Pitti Palace collections in Florence today. The marriage was a quiet but effective annexation, securing a cultural and financial legacy for the Medici that would endure for centuries. The wedding itself was a solemn but grand occasion, acknowledging the immense significance of the union. While the political future of Urbino as a state was determined by papal decree, the transfer of its movable wealth to the Medici through Vittoria's dowry was a testament to the power of dynastic marriage. Vittoria herself was a woman of strong character and deep piety who would play an influential role as Grand Duchess. Her dowry was not just a transaction, it was the absorption of one great dynasty's legacy into another, enriching the Medici beyond measure and firmly establishing Florence as a cultural capital of Europe. The dowry was the artistic heart of a lost duchy now beating within the grand walls of the Medici palace. Number 7. Claudia de' Medici and her two marriages. Claudia de' Medici, born in 1604, led a life marked by two strategic marriages, both of which brought significant alliances and wealth to the Medici family. As the youngest daughter of Grand Duke Ferdinando I and Christine of Lorraine, her hand was a valuable asset in the Medici's ongoing efforts to secure their position among Europe's royal houses. Her first marriage was in 1621 to Federico Ubaldo della Rovere, the heir to the Duchy of Urbino. Her second, in 1626, after Federico's untimely death, was to Leopold V, Archduke of Further Austria and a Prince of the Holy Roman Empire. These two unions showcased the Medici's flexibility and determination to forge crucial diplomatic ties through their daughters. For her first marriage to Federico Ubaldo della Rovere, the dowry provided by the Medici was considerable, reflecting the importance of securing a ducal alliance with a prestigious Italian family like the della Rovere. The cash portion of her dowry was a substantial 70,000 scudi. This significant sum demonstrated the Medici's financial strength and their commitment to the alliance. Beyond the cash, Claudia's dowry included a dazzling array of jewels, carefully selected to highlight her status as a Grand Duchess. These likely consisted of elaborate necklaces, earrings, and brooches, set with diamonds, rubies, and emeralds, designed to impress the della Rovere court. The trousseau was equally lavish, featuring gowns made from the finest Florentine silks and brocades embroidered with intricate patterns. Fine linens, tapestries, and personal effects also formed part of this impressive collection, all crafted to reflect the opulence of the Medici court. The marriage was seen as a way to strengthen ties within Italy and potentially secure future influence over the Duchy of Urbino, though Federico's premature death just 2 years later changed those plans. The dowry served its purpose in forging the initial alliance, even if the marriage was short-lived. Claudia's second marriage, to Leopold V, Archduke of Further Austria, was even more strategically crucial for the Medici. This union tied them directly to the powerful Habsburg dynasty, offering protection and influence within the Holy Roman Empire. The Archduke was a brother to the Holy Roman Emperor Ferdinand II, making this a truly royal match. The Medici family, eager to solidify their Habsburg connections, ensured Claudia's second dowry was commensurate with her new imperial status. While the exact details of the second dowry are often merged with aspects of her first, the Medici commitment to this alliance meant that it would be extraordinarily generous. Her dowry to Leopold V included a further substantial cash sum, a sign of ongoing Medici wealth and their desire to make a strong impression on the Habsburg court. It was understood to be hundreds of thousands of scudi, cementing her financial contribution to the archducal household. The jewels she brought with her for her second marriage were likely even more magnificent than those from her first, representing a lifetime's accumulation of precious stones and intricate settings. These glittering assets were not just personal adornments, they were tangible displays of Medici opulence and a contribution to the archducal treasury. The trousseau and personal effects she brought to Innsbruck were designed to impress the formal Habsburg court, reflecting the latest Florentine fashions and luxurious craftsmanship. Elaborate garments, valuable furs, and intricate lacework were part of her impressive belongings. The journey to Innsbruck was a grand imperial procession, marked by fanfare and formal receptions, underscoring the significance of this Habsburg-Medici union. The impact of Claudia's two marriages was profound for the Medici. Her first marriage, though brief, secured a temporary bond with a key Italian duchy. Her second, however, cemented a vital long-term alliance with the Habsburgs, offering the Medici unparalleled diplomatic protection and access within the empire. Claudia herself proved to be a capable regent after Leopold's death, further enhancing her family's reputation. The dowries, in both instances, were not mere payments, they were calculated investments in Medici power, prestige, and security on the European stage. Number 6. Virginia de' Medici and Cesare d'Este, Duke of Modena. In 1586, another important marriage was arranged for a Medici princess, Virginia de' Medici, the illegitimate but acknowledged daughter of Grand Duke Cosimo I and Camilla Martelli. While her birth status might have been different from her legitimate half-sisters, her marriage to Cesare d'Este, Duke of Modena and Reggio, was a crucial strategic alliance for the Medici. This union aimed to strengthen ties with another powerful and ancient Italian ducal house, the Este family, further securing the Medici's position within the complex network of Italian states. The Este family ruled a significant territory in northern Italy, and their alliance brought geographic and political advantages. Despite Virginia's illegitimate birth, her father, Cosimo I, ensured that her dowry was both lavish and worthy of a grand ducal daughter, demonstrating her importance to the family's diplomatic efforts. The dowry was designed to legitimize her status and secure a strong bond with the Este family. The cash portion of her dowry amounted to a substantial 50,000 scudi. This significant sum was a clear indication of Medici wealth and their commitment to the Este alliance. Such a large sum could greatly assist the ducal treasury of Modena, providing liquid capital for various state expenses or investments. Beyond the cash, Virginia's dowry also included a selection of magnificent jewels, personally chosen by Cosimo I and later his successor, to adorn his daughter and enhance her status as a duchess. These included elaborate necklaces, earrings, and rings featuring precious stones like diamonds, pearls, and emeralds, each piece a small fortune in itself. These jewels were not merely personal adornments, they were tangible assets that could be pawned or sold in times of need, though their primary purpose was to display the wealth and prestige of both the Medici and Este families. Her trousseau was equally grand, comprising numerous gowns made from the finest Florentine and Venetian silks, adorned with intricate embroidery and rich brocades. Fine linens, tapestries, and luxurious furnishings were also part of her dowry, designed to outfit her new ducal residence in Modena. These items showcased the advanced craftsmanship of Tuscany and brought a touch of Florentine splendor to the Este court. The marriage also stipulated a jointure, a guaranteed income or property for Virginia should she outlive Cesare, ensuring her financial security and continued status. The journey from Florence to Modena was a celebratory procession marked by public feasts and displays of wealth, emphasizing the new bond between the two powerful Italian families. The wedding ceremony itself was a lavish affair, attended by numerous dignitaries and nobility, further cementing the alliance. The political importance of Virginia's marriage lay in its ability to consolidate the Medici's network of alliances within Italy. The Este family was an old and respected dynasty, and their connection offered a measure of stability and influence in the volatile Italian peninsula. While Virginia's personal life as Duchess of Modena was marked by challenges, including her eventual mental instability, the alliance forged through her marriage remained important for the Medici. Her dowry was a testament to the Medici's willingness to invest heavily in strategic dynastic marriages, even for a daughter born outside of legitimate wedlock, demonstrating their pragmatic approach to power and their enduring commitment to securing their position through lavish displays of wealth and carefully chosen alliances. The dowry was a golden chain, binding two ducal houses together. Number 5. Isabella de' Medici and Paolo Giordano Orsini. Isabella de' Medici, born in 1542, was renowned for her beauty, intelligence, and vibrant personality. The daughter of Grand Duke Cosimo I and Eleonora di Toledo, she was a true Renaissance princess, highly educated, and a patron of the arts. Her marriage in 1558 to Paolo Giordano Orsini, Duke of Bracciano, was a crucial alliance for the Medici, designed to strengthen their ties with one of the most powerful and ancient aristocratic families in Rome. The Orsini family commanded significant political and military influence within the Papal States, and this union aimed to secure the Medici's interests in Rome, a city vital for their financial and religious standing. The dowry provided for Isabella was immense, reflecting her status as a beloved daughter of the Grand Duke and the importance of the Orsini alliance. As Cosimo I spared no expense, making it clear that Isabella was a valuable asset in his political calculations. The cash portion of her dowry was a truly astonishing 100,000 scudi. This sum was equivalent to the annual revenue of a small state and represented a vast amount of liquid capital for the Orsini family. It could fund military campaigns, secure loans, or be invested in land and property, greatly enhancing the Duke of Bracciano's financial power. Beyond the cash, Isabella's dowry included a spectacular collection of jewels and precious objects. These were not just personal adornments, they were significant assets. Records indicate she received a parure of diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and pearls, set in intricate gold and silver designs. These pieces were masterpieces of Florentine goldsmithing, designed to be worn for state occasions and to showcase the immense wealth of the Medici. Chronicles of the time spoke of her dazzling appearance, enhanced by these precious stones. Her trousseau was equally lavish, comprising dozens of gowns made from the finest Florentine and Venetian silks, velvets, and brocades, often intricately embroidered with gold and silver thread. These garments were fashion statements showcasing the latest styles and the highest quality of Italian textile production. Fine linens, tapestries, depicting classical scenes, and luxurious furnishings for her new home in Bracciano were also part of her extensive dowry. These items transformed her new residence, bringing Medici splendor to the Orsini Palace. The wedding itself was a grand affair, celebrated in Florence with lavish festivities, including banquets, theatrical performances, and musical concerts. The presence of high-ranking nobility from both Florence and Rome underscored the political significance of the union. Isabella's journey to Bracciano was a stately procession, marked by public acclamations and displays of affection, though it was ultimately a journey to a life that would end tragically. The political ramifications of this marriage were immediate and significant. It established a strong bond between the Medici and the Orsini, one of Rome's princely families, providing the Medici with a direct channel of influence within the Papal States. This alliance was crucial for the Medici's banking interests in Rome and their efforts to secure cardinalates and other ecclesiastical appointments for their family members. Isabella, through her charisma and connections, became a powerful figure in her own right, hosting her own court and acting as a Medici agent in Rome. While Isabella's life ended mysteriously and tragically, the dowry she brought was a powerful instrument that secured a critical alliance, embedding the Medici further into the very fabric of Italian high society and politics. The dowry was a glittering bridge to Roman power. Number 4, Lucrezia de' Medici and Alfonso II d'Este, Duke of Ferrara. In 1558, another significant marriage was arranged for a Medici daughter, Lucrezia de' Medici, daughter of Grand Duke Cosimo I and Eleonora de Toledo. Her union with Alfonso II d'Este, Duke of Ferrara, represented a strategic alliance with one of the oldest and most culturally sophisticated ducal houses in Italy. The Este family, renowned patrons of the arts and holders of valuable territories in northern Italy, offered the Medici a crucial link to the political and cultural landscape of the Po Valley. This marriage was designed to extend Medici influence and consolidate their position among the ruling elite of the Italian peninsula. Lucrezia's dowry was meticulously prepared and extremely generous, reflecting her status as a legitimate daughter of the Grand Duke and the high value the Medici placed on the Este alliance. The cash portion of her dowry was a princely sum of 100,000 scudi. This massive amount was a clear statement of Medici wealth and their commitment to strengthening the Este treasury. This sum could be used by Alfonso to fund his court, military, or various ducal projects, enhancing his power and prestige. Beyond the cash, Lucrezia's dowry included a stunning collection of jewels and precious objects. These pieces were not just ornaments, they were tangible assets that contributed to the wealth and splendor of the Este court. Records mention an impressive array of diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and pearls, often set in elaborate gold designs by Florentine master jewelers. These glittered on her person, symbolizing the immense wealth she brought to her new home. The dowry also included valuable Florentine textiles, tapestries, and furnishings chosen to adorn her apartments in Ferrara and bring the sophisticated taste of Florence to the Este palaces. Her trousseau was, as expected for a Grand Duchess, extensive and luxurious. It contained numerous gowns made from the finest Florentine silks and brocades, elaborately embroidered with gold and silver thread. Fine linens, furs, and intricate accessories were also part of her personal belongings, all designed to ensure she was appropriately dressed for every occasion at the refined Este court. The marriage contract also stipulated a generous jointure, ensuring Lucrezia's financial security and status should she outlive Alfonso. The wedding ceremony, held in Florence, was a grand public spectacle marked by lavish feasts, theatrical performances, and musical entertainments. The opulence showcased the Medici's wealth and cemented the new bond between the two families. Lucrezia's journey to Ferrara was a stately procession, accompanied by a large retinue of courtiers and servants, underscoring the importance of her arrival. The political benefits of this marriage for the Medici were significant. It strengthened their ties with a prominent Italian ducal house, providing a valuable ally in the shifting political landscape of the peninsula. The Este family's territories were strategically located, and their alliance offered the Medici a degree of security and influence in northern Italy. While Lucrezia's personal life in Ferrara was short and marked by ill health, leading to her early death just 2 years after her marriage, the alliance she forged through her dowry remained a testament to the Medici's strategic use of dynastic marriages. Her dowry was not just money and jewels, it was a diplomatic investment that further cemented the Medici's power and prestige among the Italian states. The dowry was a golden key unlocking a ducal stronghold. Number 3, Eleonora di Toledo and Cosimo, the first de' Medici. The year 1539 marked a pivotal moment for the nascent Medici ducal house with the marriage of Cosimo, the first de' Medici, to Eleonora di Toledo. While Eleonora was not a Medici by birth, her dowry was so extraordinarily massive and transformative that it fundamentally secured the Medici's financial stability, political independence, and social legitimacy at a time when their power was still consolidating. Eleonora was the daughter of Don Pedro Alvarez de Toledo y Zuniga, the Spanish viceroy of Naples, and therefore a descendant of the powerful Spanish and Neapolitan nobility, with direct ties to Emperor Charles V. This union was crucial for Cosimo, the newly appointed Duke of Florence, who desperately needed imperial backing and financial resources to establish his rule and quell internal opposition. Eleonora's dowry was staggering, a reflection of the immense wealth and power of her Spanish family, and the emperor's desire to secure an alliance with Florence. It was one of the largest dowries recorded in Italian history at that time. The cash portion alone amounted to 50,000 ducats. This was an astronomical sum, equivalent to approximately 200,000 gold florins, and vastly exceeded the dowries typically offered for a princess of even the highest rank. To put this into perspective, Florence's annual state income at the time might have been around 300,000 florins. This infusion of cash instantly stabilized Cosimo's shaky finances, allowing him to pay off debts, fund his burgeoning military, and secure his position against both internal and external threats. It gave him financial independence from Florence's traditional banking families, reducing his reliance on loans. Beyond the cash, Eleonora brought with her a magnificent collection of jewels and precious objects. These included glittering diamonds, emeralds, rubies, and pearls set in intricate designs that showcased the immense wealth of the Spanish court. These jewels adorned her and enhanced the grandeur of the Medici court, serving as symbols of wealth and power. Her trousseau was equally lavish, reportedly filling dozens of chests with gowns of the finest Spanish silks and velvets, embroidered with gold and silver thread. She also brought with her extensive collections of tapestries, finely crafted furniture, and silver plate, all designed to furnish her new ducal residence and reflect the opulence of her Spanish heritage. The marriage also brought with it a significant political advantage: the direct patronage and protection of Emperor Charles V. Don Pedro de Toledo, Eleonora's father, was one of the emperor's most trusted viceroys, and this family tie cemented Cosimo's allegiance to the Habsburg Empire. This imperial backing was indispensable in consolidating Cosimo's rule and deterring any Republican forces in Florence who might have sought to overthrow him. Eleonora herself proved to be an astute and influential Grand Duchess, managing the family finances with skill, investing in land, and overseeing significant architectural projects. Her economic acumen further amplified the impact of her dowry, transforming the Medici's financial foundation. The wedding celebrations were a display of newfound Medici wealth and power, signaling their arrival as legitimate rulers. The dowry was not just a sum of money, it was the bedrock upon which Cosimo built the Grand Duchy of Tuscany. It provided the financial security, the imperial backing, and the aristocratic legitimacy that the Medici desperately needed to transition from powerful bankers to sovereign rulers. Eleonora's dowry was the crucial initial investment that secured the Medici's future as a ducal dynasty. Number 2, Maria de' Medici and Henri IV of France. The year 1600 witnessed one of the most magnificent and strategically vital marriages in Medici history, the union of Maria de' Medici, daughter of Grand Duke Ferdinando I, to Henri IV, King of France. This marriage was a monumental achievement for the Medici, elevating them to the highest ranks of European royalty and solidifying an alliance with one of the continent's most powerful monarchs. Henri IV, a recent convert to Catholicism, was establishing the Bourbon dynasty and needed a wealthy bride to help replenish his kingdom's treasury after years of religious wars. The Medici, eager for royal prestige and influence, saw this as an unparalleled opportunity. Maria's dowry was legendary, meticulously assembled by her father Ferdinando I to ensure it met the expectations of a French king and showcased the immense wealth of the Grand Duchy of Tuscany. It was considered one of the largest royal dowries of its time. The cash portion of her dowry alone amounted to an astounding 600,000 scudi, or 2 million livres. This colossal sum was a lifeline for the war-torn French treasury, providing much-needed capital for the king to consolidate his power, repay debts, and rebuild his kingdom. This financial injection underscored the Medici's continued dominance in European finance. Beyond the liquid assets, Maria's dowry also included a breathtaking collection of jewels and works of art, carefully chosen to impress the French court and enhance her regal status. She brought with her an unparalleled array of diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and pearls, set into magnificent necklaces, earrings, and brooches. These were not just personal ornaments, they were mobile wealth and symbols of the Medici's artistic patronage and financial power. Chronicles of the time detailed the dazzling display of her jewels upon her arrival in France. The dowry also included a significant number of valuable Florentine artworks, tapestries, and precious objects designed to adorn her royal residences and introduce the sophisticated taste of Florence to the French court. Her trousseau was equally grand, comprising dozens of gowns made from the finest Italian silks and velvets, elaborately embroidered with gold and silver threads and furs of sable and ermine. Fine linens, intricate lace, and personal effects filled countless chests, all designed to ensure Maria was impeccably dressed for every royal occasion. The sheer volume and quality of her personal belongings reflected the immense wealth she brought to France. The wedding itself was a spectacle of unparalleled pomp and circumstance. Maria was married by proxy in Florence, with the ceremony being a lavish affair attended by cardinals, princes, and diplomats. Her subsequent journey to France was a royal procession with stops in various Italian cities where she was greeted with public celebrations. Her official entry into Lyon and later into Paris were marked by elaborate pageants, triumphal arches, and fireworks, symbolizing the new bond between Florence and France. The political ramifications of Maria's marriage were immense. It firmly established the Medici as a recognized royal house in Europe, granting them immense prestige and a direct link to the French throne. This alliance offered the Grand Duchy of Tuscany significant protection and influence in European diplomacy. And Maria would go on to be crowned Queen of France and later served as regent for her son, Louis XIII, playing a crucial, albeit controversial, role in French politics for decades. Her dowry was not just a financial transaction, it was a strategic investment that bought the Medici unparalleled royal status and secured a powerful alliance that shaped European history for generations. The dowry was a golden bridge to a throne. Number 1. Caterina de' Medici and Henri II of France. The year 1533 saw perhaps the most famous and strategically audacious Medici marriage of all, the union of Caterina de' Medici, niece of Pope Clement VII, to Henri, Duke of Orleans, and second son of King Francis I of France. This alliance was a truly astonishing coup for the Medici family, who had only recently returned to power in Florence and were still struggling for full legitimacy among Europe's established monarchies. To marry into the French royal family, one of the most powerful dynasties in Europe, was an unprecedented leap in prestige and power for the Florentine bankers. Pope Clement VII, himself a Medici, personally orchestrated this match, betting the family's fortunes on this bold diplomatic gamble. Caterina's dowry was legendary, meticulously assembled to be worthy of a French prince and to compensate for her relatively less exalted birth compared to other European princesses. It was an astonishing display of Medici wealth, designed to secure this coveted alliance. The cash portion of her dowry was a truly immense 130,000 ducats. This was a colossal sum, representing a staggering financial injection into the French royal treasury. To provide some context, this amount was equivalent to the annual revenue of a substantial European kingdom. Such a vast sum gave Francis I much-needed capital, especially after recent wars, and secured his personal commitment to the alliance. Beyond the cash, Caterina's dowry included a dazzling array of jewels and precious objects, considered among the finest in Europe. These included an impressive collection of diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and pearls, often set in elaborate gold designs by master Florentine jewelers. These were not merely personal adornments, they were liquid assets, symbols of the Medici's immense wealth and their sophisticated artistic patronage. Chronicles of the time detailed the sheer brilliance of the jewels she wore upon her arrival in France. The dowry also contained a substantial collection of valuable works of art, including paintings, sculptures, and ancient artifacts, many of which now form the basis of the Louvre Museum's Italian collections. These artworks showcased the artistic prowess of Florence and enriched the French royal collections immensely. Her trousseau was equally lavish, comprising countless gowns made from the finest Florentine and Venetian silks, velvets, and brocades, elaborately embroidered with gold and silver thread. Fine linens, exquisite lace, and an abundance of personal effects filled numerous chests, all designed to ensure Caterina was impeccably dressed for every royal occasion. She also brought with her a retinue of Florentine cooks, perfumers, and artists, introducing Italian fashion, cuisine, and culture to the French court. The wedding ceremony, held in Marseille, was a grand and ostentatious affair, attended by the Pope himself, King Francis I, and numerous dignitaries. The lavishness of the festivities underscored the importance of this union. The political ramifications of Caterina's marriage were profound. It granted the Medici unprecedented royal prestige and a direct link to the French throne. This alliance provided crucial political protection for the Grand Duchy of Tuscany against rivals and offered a channel for diplomatic influence on the European stage. Caterina would go on to become Queen of France and, after the deaths of her husband and eldest son, Queen Mother, wielding immense power as regent for her younger sons. Her dowry was not just a payment, it was the financial and cultural foundation of a future queen, securing an alliance that profoundly impacted the course of French and European history for decades. The dowry was a golden key that unlocked a kingdom.